Tak, jeszcze ciekawostka. Lucian zaczął swoją przygodę that you started your journey as nomad 6 years ago, but last I will leave you. You can say about yourself.
3, 2, 1. Everybody can hear me?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3.
Hey, everybody, yeah.
It's okay.
It's good, it's good, it's good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, it's good.
Super nice. Okay.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Lucian. As you can see here, I come from Romania, and I started working remotely 6 years ago. It was a wild ride until now. It was very challenging on the way, but I learned a lot of things, and I want to share with you as well a few of the lessons that I learned during my years as a digital nomad, let's say, because us people love labels, so okay, let's use the digital nomad label. I think everybody here loves to travel, right? I mean, yeah, who loves to travel? I love to travel. First of all, I want to say that we're going to do a little bit of a Q&A in the sense that I want you to be engaged. Everybody was so tired, looks so tired, and I want everybody to kind of ask questions. So please, if you have anything to intervene, if you have any questions to ask, just stop me and ask me, because I want you to kind of get more into this lifestyle from my experience, like for live a little bit through my experience in the last 6 years. Okay, so I started to work remotely 6 years ago for a company, and then I also love to travel. So at that point, I said, okay. Now I can work remotely. I'm just gonna book a ticket somewhere, and I'm gonna start, working and traveling. And guess where is the first place where I started working remotely? Poland, yeah. So I went to Krakow. Actually, it hasn't for me. Poland, I have an emotional connection with Poland because I basically started my first trip abroad as a digital nomad in Poland, in Krakow. Now I do 4 years. After 4 years, basically, I work remotely. After 4 years, I kind of quit my job and I launched my own business. And now I am an Amazon seller, and I have a 6-figure Amazon business. So this is what I do now as a main income source. As you can see, I work from 40 countries. Basically 35, just to be more honest, because this is where I've traveled. I worked from 35 countries, and I've experienced a lot of things during my travels. Probably the most challenging was in China, where they block everything from Google, Microsoft services, so it's very hard to work from there. But luckily there are VPNs. There's a software that hides your IP, and you can pretend that you're working from a different country while in a different country. that helps a lot. What got me into working remotely and traveling the world in the same time? It was basically a desire to just break the rules in a creative way, not the law but the rules, in the sense that I didn't like the idea to go to school. For example, we all have patterns in life. Like you go to school, then you get a job, you get married, then you have kids, and then you have a stable job, and maybe when you're like 60, you get to travel, or you travel in between for a few weeks, a few days every year. Yeah, I didn't like that. No, I mean, I was really thinking about how can I just bypass the system. Okay. So, with the evolution of internet and technology, things have changed incredibly. I was like, when I saw the internet, I realized, and I had the love for travel, I realized, yes, I think we will all be digital nomads at one point in life. This struck me, I think, in early 2000. But yeah, internet was not that fast at that point, and of course, things needed a little bit of time to adjust. Sometimes we need to just ask ourselves if we are doing what we really want to do with our careers, with our lives, or we're following what our parents, what our friends, what the society, what the school, what our teachers taught us. And we just need to sit and reflect and ask ourselves, is this good for me? This is what I want to do, or I want to do something else. I want to take risks, and I think the best part is to take risks as long as you're young, because when you're young, you can take the biggest risk. even though you have a family, some of you might have kids or have serious commitments, you still can take risks. But of course, the guys here, I think, they're the family guys who want to be nomadic. But it's possible. There are many nomads, many digital nomads traveling with families. And you just have to just walk and think through and just reflect and go forward. And sometimes you just have to do things a little bit differently, like break the rules, not the law. Here in India, I was on the point of breaking the law, but I was informed on time. Here is what Roșia Montana is a sensitive point in the Romanian political system, because they wanted to, I'll just briefly explain. Basically, they wanted to build the largest gold mine in Europe and use cyanide in order to extract and process gold. And at that point, if the project would have been approved, then a huge environmental disaster would have arrived in Europe in a couple of years. So not only Romania, but all Eastern Europe and potentially Western Europe would have been affected. So I wanted to just raise the, let's say, awareness. And I took this leaflet into the Taj Mahal because I wanted to take a picture of the Taj Mahal. And they said, no, it's not, it's political, it's going to be banned, jail, in India, it's forbidden. So, and what happens is that I saw a bold man and I said, okay, let's raise awareness, let's cross the water, and I'll take a picture next to the Taj Mahal. So, yeah, the message went through. It was an interesting experience about how you can sometimes just think a little bit outside of the box without breaking the rules, right? Okay, so let's say you want to become nomadic, or you want to work remotely. Should you basically quit your job immediately, or and then just book a ticket wherever you want? This is a little bit of a Western way, of doing things. You have some savings, and then you quit your office job, and you travel, and then you figure out on the way. Personally, I don't advise this idea, because it's a sure path to bankruptcy, in the sense that building your freelancing business, building your other businesses is very difficult when you just travel. So the thing is that you need to just sit and reflect, like I said before, and then you have to make some choices, but not quitting your job. I wouldn't advise anyone just to quit their job and use their savings to travel, because you're going to end up finding another job. Given the fact that I worked remotely for a company, I noticed some really interesting numbers. Basically, in the US, 43% of the workforce has worked as freelance, which is incredible. These are the latest numbers. And 40% from 2012 through 2016 basically increased their working remote time. Usually people used to work like 1-2 days a week, and now it's 40% growth for a full week remote, which means, like, even though the working paradigm is changing and people are working more and more remotely, 91% believe they're more productive when they are working remotely, which means, like, for people who have businesses, online businesses, and they want to, let's say, they want to hire folks who can work for them remotely, they can do it because they have some statistics which backs the fact that actually their business will thrive and will grow because people will deliver, because working remotely is effective. And 48%, that's amazing, likely to rank a 10, a job based on the fact that it's remote. So half of the people believe if a job is remote, they give it a 10. Like it's like a deciding factor, which says a lot about the job area, let's say. Talking from my own experience, these are basically the three biggest ways on how you can build your remote life. So first is a remote job, and why I'll insist here a little bit more. And why is a remote job? Because a job is actually easier to get than freelancing clients or building an online business. For me, I remember it took like 15 days or something, and I already had an stable income, and I could just jump and travel the world like that after like 15, 20 days. It was possible. But with a freelance, you need months, years maybe to build your base. And with an online business, you have also added risks. You have to invest your own money and the investor's money, etc. So yeah, this is what I did. So basically, I looked for a remote job, and yeah, I started working remotely, and I started traveling almost yeah, immediately. One thing about working remotely for you guys who can work remotely from an office, I suggest, for example, to who of you can work remotely? Like you're working in an office right now, but you could do this job from your home. Who can do that? So yeah, like 20%, 15-20%, which is a high number. This means you can approach your boss tomorrow and say, hi.
I was at conference.
I wasn't. Yeah. If the boss is not seeing this recording, then you can say, can I work for 2 days remotely next week? And let's see how it works. You know, if it's not working fine, I'll go back and just work for you. Like, you know, I'll just show up in the office. And you can increase the period like every week with 1 day, and then after 1 month, you can say, can I work remotely the next month? And let's see how it works out. And yeah, and this is like basically the easiest way you can do with if you have a job right now. So yeah, approach your boss with caution, and yeah, and see how he reacts. And if he refuses, approach him the next time until you get what you want. Never give up. With freelancing, I did just a little bit in the sense that I did consulting one-on-one with people who, for example, people who are building their Amazon businesses, or a little bit of digital nomading thing. But I don't like it that much, because like one time I was in Malaysia and I just wanted to go to sleep, and then I see the Skype ringing, and then I suddenly remembered that, oh, I have a consulting gig, so I have to take it. And I'm like, I forgot. So it's like, I don't like the idea now I have everything automated generally. And yeah, that's why I chose this business model, the Amazon business model, because it's probably one of the easiest ways to to have to live your nomadic lifestyle the best as possible. Amazon does a lot for you. Like they have the customers, they have the marketing, they offer the support. So basically, you just have to build a brand. You just have to build your business, and they take care of many things. Yeah. So yeah, after you've managed to get the setup with your boss, or you found a remote job, then you can just jump in, and you can first start. What I advise is, like, you can, if you haven't traveled much, I advise you just to work from home, and then after, let's say, if it works out well, after 2-3 weeks, just start slowly going abroad for 1 week, a short period of time, so you don't have to you jump directly into, like, I don't know, you go to India straight, or South America is like a different culture where they're gonna, like, you don't know how it's gonna go, and then you extend your period of staying abroad and working abroad, and you're going to enter into a kind of a let's say, like a routine. So you need a routine as well when you work remotely, because you probably need to work at least 4 or 5 hours a day, and yeah, you need that routine. So what's like basically the number one thing that is required when you work remotely for customers, yourself, your business? Definitely discipline, because like many times, like I heard in Mac's presentation, like I was, just I was out somewhere, I'm in Morocco, whatever, and then I said, oh, I have to go to work. People were like, this was in 2012. People were like, what? You're in Morocco? Like, you staying here? No, I online, yeah. Okay, so yeah, like people are going to party, but you just go to work, and so you have to enter this mindset, like you're not a tourist, like, oh, how long have you been traveling for? Oh yeah, like 1 month, but I'm working, so it's just, you have to adjust. It's not just traveling, it's also a lot of working, because the job, the boss, even your business, it's like you think you have the business, you own the business, you don't. It's like if you don't deliver to your customers, then you'll not have any business. So basically, even though you think you're independent, you still work for your customers. It's always somebody, you're dependent on someone. Wi-Fi is very important. Like for example, I was in Tunisia once, and sometimes I just go for lunch and I work from a place. I eat and I work, and I went to a particular restaurant like 2-3 times, and then the third time the guy was like, "You stay a little bit too long," and said, "I'm gonna charge you for Wi-Fi." I was like, "What? I'm just eating, staying 2 hours, whatever, and then I'm off, But the guy tried to, for example, tried to charge me on Wi-Fi on his restaurant, the free Wi-Fi. Nobody was using it because he knew that I need the Wi-Fi. So sometimes people can take advantage of you, when you're trying to. Also, very important aspect is time zone. It's sometimes you're in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Indonesia, and then you have a conference call, which you have to be very aware, because sometimes things can get really bad if you don't if your boss calls you up and you have this conference and you have to attend it. So this is another thing that you have to be. That's why I'm using apps like World Body and Time Zone. It's like something useful that you need to take account for. One of the biggest, I think, takeaways from living remotely, the location independent lifestyle, is the fact that you can dramatically increase the quality of your life, and not only the quality of life, but the flexibility of time, which is very important, in the sense that you can basically go and see where are the best countries in the world with from the quality of living perspective, and just go and live over there. This is one option, and then you have the flexibility to work, to adapt your time. So this is one of the biggest takeaways. Another takeaway is that basically you need to stay. If you work remotely, you have a job or something, you need to stay longer in one place. You need to, because you need the routine. So I usually advise at least 2 weeks in one place, 3 weeks, so you can get accustomed to let's say the place where you're going to work, or you're working from your hotel. I prefer working from a hotel or my rented apartment, because I feel more productive. I sometimes go to co-working spaces just for socializing. This is great, but not for productivity. I don't advise too much. So you need to do that. Just stay in one place longer, just focus, get work done. Another thing that you need to take account of is that if you choose to become nomadic, let's say you're location independent already, but you want to travel, is that you will fit your whole life in a bag. So whatever you carry with you, it's exactly your life. Like for now, I gave up all my stuff in 2013, 14, I guess. I just have like a 20 kg. I want to bring it actually, but I said it's too big of a challenge. This is all that I own physically, and of course you have the virtual stuff like the bank accounts and stuff. But you need to be able to downsize, and if you want to live long term, at least, like jumping from one place to another without having a home base. You can have the option of having a home base and just doing occasional trips somewhere, like 500, 1,000, 2,000 kilometers away every 2-3 weeks. I did this in the beginning between 2011, 2013, and then I just did the big jump, and I just gave up everything. I said, I'm going to just move like every 1-2 months, 2 weeks, whatever, just let it come. Basically for work, now because now I manage my e-commerce store, I use the Amazon Seller app, and I use a bunch of like micro apps inside the ecosystem, like Seller Labs and like Managed by Stats and stuff like that, which are related to the Amazon businesses. Maybe is anyone here having an Amazon shop or doing Amazon FBA, or anyone? No? Okay, me, I guess. Okay, So for work, I usually use Amazon related stuff, Skype, because I talk to my assistant, my suppliers, and all that. Facebook sometimes, WhatsApp, of course, email and Google Drive, everything, all the apps from Google. For travel, I use generally Uber, Uber, Foursquare. Foursquare helps you a lot too with your eating, choosing your where to eat. And then I use I use like financial applications. Max said something about it, like Revolut, TransferWise, and are excellent of carrying multiple currencies. I carry insurance sometimes. Health insurance. It's quite useful. You have to check the policies though, because some countries are not. For example, I bought an insurance, I think from Romania, and then I realized at one point Thailand, I called them up for an extension, and I realized Thailand was not covered. They said it's too dangerous, and they would not cover. Anyway, it's a Romanian approach. And other apps, yeah. So you have to check your insurance. Another thing that really struck me when living abroad, traveling abroad, was that so many people were feeling so happy, so at peace without having anything. That's why in the end I got influenced into kind of downsizing my life, minimizing my stuff, selling my stuff or giving my stuff away, or was because it's just I saw people being happier without having more things. So it got me thinking, like here in Cambodia, like those kids are so happy, like and they don't have like the latest gadgets and stuff, but they look so happy, they look so like present and all that. Another thing that I learned is that we have to appreciate our planet more. Like when I see people throwing up stuff on the road or whatever, it's like it makes me like sad and mad in the same time, because it's like the planet's fighting back. We can see the climate change. It's an evolution. It's not the global warming necessarily, but it's a climate change. So things are changing because the planet's fighting back. So yeah, you throw something on the ground, and then 2 days later the planet would throw something at you. So it happens like that, and we have to appreciate our environment more. This is one of my takeaways. And yeah, the world is really beautiful, but we have to take care of it. To the fore. Sorry for staying here more. I mean, so yeah, talking about happiness. This is one of my favorite quotes regarding happiness. Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. If in your heart we still cling to anything, anger, anxiety, or possessions, we cannot be free. And that resonated a lot with me. If we hang on to any of these, for sure, we're not going to be really happy. We're on the path of becoming really present and really aware. So look at this guy. Remember, another sign, and another proof that happiness doesn't is not connected to material things or possessions generally. Like I was just walking around the slums in Bombay, and basically I took pictures with people, and the poorest ones again were like so happy, and I noticed one thing that even researchers said, that 70% of our happiness is an inside job, and 30% is basically based on the external factors. So 70% internal, 30% external. These are like the people who apply it the most. They just focus on the 70%, and they're so happy. They don't have anything, but they're just so natural. And another thing that really helps the happiness is the social aspect of it. Like they spend a lot of time together. They do stuff together. Their families. They're like in Asia. Many of you have been there. In Southeast Asia and many other countries, people like to gather together. They share everything. Like they share the food. They share everything. And it's like they connect a lot. We're more individualistic in Europe and North America. It's like, I'm the one. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. No, this is about us. We're all the same consciousness, experiencing itself subjectively. That's why now I like after having multiple experiences around the world and meeting many cultures and people, I just realized that freedom is the key to happiness and non-attachment to material things. So I started writing something. So if you want to kind of, I'm just in the process of completing it. But here I'll give also a lot of tips on how to find jobs and how to get to work online. So yeah, sign up if you want to hear about the book when the book will be out. So now I want to do a little bit of Q&A. Recommendation first, a few books that I really like, and I think a few of them have influenced my life. So Tim Ferriss, Eckhart Tolle, New Earth and the Power of Now, Viktor Frankl, Search of Meaning. He's a survivor of the Holocaust, Viktor Frankl, and Tony Hsieh, Delivering Happiness. Yeah, so I want to do a Q&A right now, and everybody to ask me a few questions. We still have a few minutes, and yeah, just raise your hand and just yeah.
Where do you pay taxes?
Taxes in Romania, basically. Or you can basically choose. You can, as a digital nomad, what you can do, you can. Okay, I'll give you like a golden nugget for Europeans. We have Malta, so in Malta you can move your residency to Malta, and you're not taxed on your worldwide income, on the income generated outside Malta. So I'm in the process. Yeah.
I got a question. So I assume there's probably not many people doing Amazon APA here because we have a different portal, like shopping portal in Poland. It's called Allegro, and I think Amazon doesn't sell in Poland, so it might be like an opportunity in the future to do that. So maybe you know something about it. Like they've recently, they've because they started the Amazon Prime in a few different countries last year, few more. I think one of them was Romania and Hungary and everything. I think they might include Poland at some point.
Yeah. So eMag, there's a maybe you heard of eMag is a big online shop. I mean a big marketplace. And what they did, it was in Romania at least, they launched the opportunity for like individual entrepreneurs to sell products on their platform. And maybe this will happen with Allegro too if they haven't done it already. So if you guys have businesses already, online shops in Polish, I think it's the next thing. You will be able probably in the next few years to list products on Allegro or similar websites and expose them to their market, to their customer base.
Because
so,
this Allegro portal, it beats eBay in Poland. Like, eBay doesn't exist here. So
this is what. Yeah, exactly. This will probably happen. So,
okay.
But yeah, Amazon is a good avenue, and it's a bit challenging getting the business off the ground. I had to trim down my travels, and I moved to Thailand. I stayed in Bangkok, and I worked for like 6 months. I just focused on the business. I didn't know anything else, so because I also took some risks, I invested all my savings into the business, so I had to make it work. It paid off in the end. But what you need to do is just focus on one thing that really works for you, and just maximize your results. Any other questions? Please engage, because
How do you choose destinations? Like where do you go, and how do you plan your trip, like the stay and all that stuff?
Yeah. So usually it's just I choose a place where I haven't been, and is like interesting, and then I'm trying to see the culture. I have a feeling, it's a good feeling. Like I just sometimes I just get a calling. Like when I went to India, I was like, something is calling me. Like I'll go to India. And I work from India, and I travel around India for 1.5 months, and I did plan that a lot. Yeah, because usually in India you cannot plan anything, but fortunately they have the internet as well, so you can book your tickets, you can book everything, the train tickets, everything. And I planned absolutely everything in India, and I did a tour, 45-50 day tour. So I choose destination just like that, where I haven't been. And I just book something for a few days, a week, using, for example, Booking or Agoda.com. Agoda.com is the best tool that you can use to book accommodation or Airbnb. For Agoda, it's Southeast Asia. And Asia in general is the best tool to book accommodation. Don't use anything else. Don't use Booking or Airbnb. Agoda.com is the best. So this is what I do. And sometimes I just do trips. Like I came to Poland, I didn't have accommodations. I just came. Sometimes I just go with the flow. I don't book anything. And I end up staying more in a place because I like it. Like in Taiwan, I extended my stay for 10 days or something like that because I really like the place. I worked from there. It was nice. Yeah.
Do you have any base, home base or anything?
I don't have any base right now. I'm thinking about doing it because I feel the need. In the last 3 years, I haven't had. The longest I stayed in one place was, I think, 3 months. 6 months in Bangkok, outside Bangkok, 6 months in Bangkok, and then 3-4 months. Yeah, something like that. Any other questions? Yeah.
Yes, this is regarding to your business. How do you handle shipping?
Shipping where to,
How do you ship products?
how do I ship?
Or where do you ship your product from?
You can ship it from anywhere. I ship it from China, and they take care of everything. I just pay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be all. You have any questions? No. Let's take one more question, please.
Okay, one more question only for you.
Yeah. Okay. One more question. Somebody.
Sorry.
No.
Don't stand for this.
Yeah.
How many hours you work a day?
For example, when I had a remote job, I worked for about 5 hours on average, 4 or 5 hours a day. I didn't work a full 8 hours, but because you can focus better, you can deliver the same amount of output when you have an 8-hour job. So you can increase your productivity a lot. But now I work, it depends. Usually I think by average maybe 3 hours, 4 hours a day, something like that. It's not the 4-hour work week, like the Tim Ferriss book, but it's definitely a 3-4 hour day. It's possible and it's quite manageable. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Okej, proszę zostańcie jeszcze chwilę, bo mamy coś do załatwienia. Halo, halo, poproszę Alan o wejście na Instagrama. Tak, niestety panelu nie zdążymy już zorganizować. Lucian, wszyscy jeszcze będą...